My name is Lasse Seelmann, and in today's video I will talk about the topic of how it is necessary for us men to be violent in character. And I want to start out today's video by mentioning a story of myself that I will then reference back later in the video when I'm giving actionable advice. When I was a young man, I was trapped inside of my mind. My mind felt like a prison. And I was imprisoned by the programming of my friends, my surroundings, and just in general society. And as of today, I'm very happy to report that this is not the case anymore, and that my mind is free and I like to be inside of my mind. And in fact, my life has turned from a prison into a very beautiful garden. And a very important thing for you to understand if you want to turn your mind from a prison into a garden is that gardens do not exist by nature. Gardens are something that is part of creation, and creating a garden is something that's violent in nature. If you want to create a garden for yourself, you cannot be gentle with it. You have to cut down the grass, you have to rip out the weeds, you have to chop down the tree. All of that is violent behavior, and all of that violent behavior is what makes a man. Because as a man, you have to be dominant. And being dominant as a man, basically our nature. And the word dominant comes from the Latin word domus, which means home. And for us to be able to create a home, we have to dominate something, because a home can only be something that we have dominated and mastered as a man. And the issue most men face these days is that they are afraid of ripping out the weeds, and they're trying to understand the weeds. But you don't have to understand the weeds to make a beautiful garden. You just have to be violent enough to rip the weeds out and to chop the tree down and to cut the grass down in order to create a beautiful garden for yourself. And nature plays a very big role in this kind of situation, because in nature, gardens don't exist. In nature, only wilderness exists. And in order for you to be able to make a beautiful garden out of the wilderness, that just takes a lot of violence. So talking about violence, in order to be able to be violent, you have to be a killer as a man. Because we are facing so many demons and so many things holding us back that there is no other option for us than to kill these things. And the only reason I broke free from the outside programming and from living inside of a mind that's basically a prison was that I killed those motherfuckers. And you're only truly free if you kill what is holding you back. Too many people try to understand their demons. Too many people try to understand their weeds instead of just pulling them out. Because you have to understand that no one is coming to save you. And freedom is not a gift that is given to you by others or by reading books or going to the therapist. Freedom is something that you actively have to take violently. People just have to understand that they have to stop asking to be happy. What society doesn't want you to believe is that you have to put yourself first. But the problem with that is that men by nature are extremely selfish and have to be selfish in order to be more masculine and to take care of others. You cannot fix the world if your own mind is still a mess. Because truly as a man, mastering your own internal war is the only responsibility that you have. And by being violent, I don't mean that you should walk around the world not giving a shit about anyone else. You have to be violent in order for your own peace to be able to exist. Peace can only exist if there's a certain amount of strength backing that peace up. And being a killer only means that you love peace enough to be able to protect it. And in order for you to be able to protect your garden, you have to be violent, and you have to be able to pull the weeds out of your garden. You have to be able to not try to understand what is holding you back. And that has many, many, many reasons, which could also lead this video into a spiritual way, which is very interesting as well. As per the law of attraction says, you are what you think about, and whatever vibration you're on is what you're attracting into your life. And so if you really want to be a warrior and make sure that you have a beautiful garden to build in, make sure to follow me on Instagram I'm actually just writing my thoughts on there and anything when it comes to your mindset, because to me personally, I believe that, well, actually is a fact that the only thing that's actually persistent in our lives is our body and our mindset. And that's why I'm so heavily focused on teaching men mindset that's actually fueling them to grow. And so if you want to learn more about that, feel free to follow me on Instagram and join my free Telegram channel. So I'll see you in there.